Hello, 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 and welcome to Trading Made Easy right here on YouTube. And I am back with another Triple Arrow video. And today, my friend, we're going to be talking about supply and demand. It's very, very important that we understand what's actually taking place behind the scenes. So I want you all to stay tuned, get a pencil and paper out, or record it, whatever you have to do. But you want to understand why price is moving the way that it is moving. Why did it go down? Why did it go up? What made that happen? These are the questions that I'm going to be answering here today. And I'm going to show you how, of course, utilizing the triple arrow system really gives us the leverage that, in my opinion, honestly, no other indicator system does, right? When I began trading, I learned, I'm not going to say the hard way, because trading is an uphill battle. It is. That's just the nature of the beast. Think about it. It's a $6.6 trillion a day industry. That's not a skill set that's just going to fall in your lap. You got to grind for that, right? You got to grind to understand it. You got to grind so that you can get enough understanding to profit in the market. It's not going to just fall in your lap, right? It's not. And when you do have it, and I'm not saying that you have to be a master, when you just have a basic understanding, you can make money in the market. And when you have that, that makes you a commodity, because it's only 3% of the world's population that actually has the skill set, right? So it's worth striving for. The triple arrow system makes it so much easier. You know, some of my mentors when I was coming up, still coming up. I've only been training for 3 years, right? But still coming up. But the mentors that I have and that I had then and have now, you know, they would tell me, you know, that what they had to go through to learn the skill, it helped bridge the learning curve for me, because they taught me their mistakes, basically, right? What they didn't know, what they didn't realize, what they didn't understand, and how they overcame that. So they passed that down to myself and their other mentees. So that in itself really took off a lot of years of learning, because I simply followed what my mentors were doing. They were successful. Why am I going to reinvent the wheel, right? I'm the student. So I'm listening with all ears. And so that's what the triple arrow system does, guys. It really removes a lot of years of learning and toiling and, you know, the late nights. You still got to put all that stuff in, but nothing compared to what you would be doing if you didn't have this system. I see different trading styles and different methodologies in which people trade. Nothing's wrong with that. It works for them. That's great. But I often find myself saying, why are they doing all that? There have been plenty of times, and it makes me that much more grateful for this system, because what they're trying to figure out is already provided for us here on the triple arrow system. So it's phenomenal. And everything that I teach is based on the triple arrow system, just showing you how to maximize the system. I'm going to leave some information inside of the description of the video. Access that if you want a private session. The private sessions are just phenomenal. Let me just tell you, individuals are getting their specific questions answered. Of course, I'm giving them the juice, the sauce, to make trading simple and easy, because it can be. It can be. So I want you to plug in there as well if you need that one-on-one private session. Absolutely, absolutely, you need the system. Like, everything that I'm showing you here is based on that, right? So it would just be in your best interest to have it. You'll be in a far better position having it than you are not having it. So those individuals that are experienced traders that are profiting in the market, you know, it's a great compliment even to them, right? It's just a win-win. Anyway, information is there. So let's talk about supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. What happens? What's going on? So this is basic economics 101, right? So with supply and demand, you have supplies. Well, let me start with this. You have two sides of the coin, okay? You have the buyer the buyer, the consumer, and you have the supplier, the manufacturer, right? And both parties have their own individual objective as it relates to purchasing, right? As it relates to purchasing. So a supply zone, remember in Forex, everything is in a zone, right? There isn't a very pinpoint exact number because price is moving, it's fluid, currency flows, and the candles is a representation of the currency that's flowing through the market for those two particular countries, right? The currency of those two particular countries. So there's not an exact pinpoint price. There's always a range, right? That price will fluctuate in and out of. So when we talk about the supply zone, what's actually happening though? What's actually happening? So when you have, say, you're the owner of you sell iPhones, right? You sell iPhones, okay. So you have a supply of merchandise, right? You have iPhones, you have the earplugs, you have the cases, you have all the accessories. So you have a supply of merchandise for who? Consumers, buyers to come in and purchase, right? Well, when you reach a supply zone, right? When you reach a surplus, right? Because that's what's happening. Now you reach a point in price where you have an abundance of this particular merchandise. You have an abundance of it, and you have it competitively priced, right? Because you have competition, right? So you have it competitively priced. Well, if the demand for that particular merchandise you're selling starts to decrease, what's happening? You have a surplus of supply, but you're not moving that supply. Why? Because the demand for that supply is decreased. So in other words, the demand is going up, right? That's price going up. The demand is increasing. It's increasing. Now what? It hits a level where it's not breaking through, right? So that price, whatever that price was, that was the threshold, so to speak, where price could not go any further. It could not go higher. Okay? It could not go higher. So now you have a restricted demand for your merchandise, or a decreased level of demand for your merchandise. So now, as the manufacturer, the owner of the establishment, how are you going to move your product? Because you don't want product on the shelf collecting dust. Guess what? You're not making any money. That's bad for business if you're not moving product. So the question becomes, how do I move this product? How do I get buyers to come into the market and purchase my product? Well, how you do that is you lower the price. And there is when the supply zone begins, right? You reach the level, a high point in price, you could not break it. So what's happening? You keep hitting it, and what's happening? It's dropping. You keep hitting it, it's dropping. So you reach a supply zone and you're selling off the merchandise at a discount. So now you've identified that area, which the big arrow does. The big arrow identifies the supply and demand zones. You may used to hearing it as the high of the day and the low of the day, and that's right. That's absolutely correct. But why is it the low of the day? Why is it the high of the day? What made it the low of the day? What made it the high of the day? What's going on behind the scenes that created that particular scenario? That is what you want to ask yourself and get an understanding of what's happening. Because when you can identify these key zones, they're beautiful selling and buying opportunities. Beautiful, right? So the big arrow on the triple arrow system identifies that for us. It identifies that for us. So it's important to know why that happened though. So now we have our big arrow. And a lot of people might be saying, listen, I don't even care. It's the big arrow. I know I'm going down. But you have to understand why things happen, because when you understand why it happens, then you know, you have the foresight of knowing that it's going to reach those zones again, right? Price always moves from one key zone to the next, or one consolidated area to the next. Always does that, and it's important to know what those areas are. Now, let me say that price can break those areas, certainly, because price going to always try to break it. It's always going to go back to try to break that zone, right? And eventually it will. We just don't know when. We just don't know when. And we really don't have to know when in order to profit in the market. So you've got your bearish big arrow populated, indicating that price has reached what? A supply zone. You reached the height of that price point and could not break during that time. And what happens? It falls. It begins to fall. And that's what's happening here. Now, another way that you can confirm, because the arrow really does, do all the heavy lifting for you. It really does. And that's a great thing. I am an advocate for the education, though. I am an advocate for learning how, just understanding what's going on. And then you can use the arrows even to more of your advantage, right? So how you know without the arrows that you've reached a supply zone. Now remember, a supply zone is coming off of a bullish move. A supply zone is coming off of a bullish move. So in other words, when you have a supply zone, the previous movement was bullish. So price is traveling up, right? The demand for it. The price is increasing because more people want it. More people want it. The price is increasing to reach a point where it's not breaking through, right? Now, what you're looking for without the arrows, if you didn't have it, is you're looking at the high point of price. And we typically do that on the higher time frame, and you can work your way down, or you can do it on the time frame that you're trading as well. Of course, the triple arrow system gives you this information on all time frames, so that's a huge plus. But outside of that, what we're looking for are one or two things. We're looking for a bearish engulfing candle at your high point area. We're looking for a bearish engulfing candle or a large bearish candle. That indicates sellers selling momentum entered the market. So when you're at a high point in price, you will begin to see sellers coming in. Why? Because guess what? We're about to drop the price. It's about to be a discount. So price is going to go down. It's going to go down. So right now, what you see here is, let me just zone it out there. I like to, little different video, but I want you to get the behind the scenes understanding of what's actually going on. Okay, now also, I also did a, well, it would be right here. I also did a video on engulfing candles, so just go through my previous videos so that you can, watch that. Also subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe so that you can get the videos. You know how that works, right? If you have questions, comments, please give me a like. If you don't like it, just give me a thumbs down, right? The only thing that I would ask is so that we can consistently be in a learning frame of mind, what you didn't like about it, right? Or what would you like to see more of, and that kind of thing. Don't just thumb me down and that's it. Well, why? Because I want to be better and I want to provide quality content, and that helps me to do that. So it's okay if I get a thumbs down. I got some type of interaction, but yeah, so that's how that works, right? Okay, so we just outlined the bearish engulfing candle. So it's a bearish engulfing candle in addition to the fact that it's a large bearish candle, right? It's a large bearish candle. So we're definitely entered into, at this area, a supply zone, which means price is going to what? Sell off. It's going to sell off. Now, of course, the Trading Made Easy trading plan is phenomenal in conjunction with the triple arrow system, and it just works so perfectly together. And I break all of that down in my Telegram group. Of course, in order to be in a Telegram group, those are for my clients, right? They've had their one-on-one sessions. I gave them the full plan, and I want to do that for you too. So book your session. If you're finding yourself not profiting consistently, it's not just book the session just because. No, if there's a need, if you don't need it, then you're in a great position. You don't need it. But if you find yourself not profiting consistently, right? You're up and down. You're not sure. You're uncomfortable. You're in. You think you did it right, and you just go into drawdown, and you cannot seem to find that consistency, that profit consistency. Then you definitely need a private session. You need a private session. You need a roadmap, right? You need a set of rules that you follow, and when you follow them, you'll start to profit more consistently. And remember, the key is you got to follow it, right? So I can't make you drink. I can lead you to the well, but I can't make you open your mouth, swallow the water, and whatever, right? So you got to do something in this process. So what I am telling you, though, is if you follow it, you will find yourself profiting more consistently, okay? So book that session so that you can begin that process, right? Begin that process, because I know that with the triple arrow system, most people are taught differently than how I trade it. Everybody sees the market different, and they incorporate their style. I am a scalper / intraday trader. I like to see my profit daily. Now, does that happen all the time? No, but typically within 24 to 48 hours. 48 hours is a long time. 48 if I'm waiting 48 hours, either I got in too soon, right? I got in too soon. I didn't follow my own rule, or price just stalled out, price just flipped, and we don't have any control over that. But as long as you're following the rules, that's the best and most you can do to increase your profit potential. But you definitely want to, because there's some sauce in it, right? All righty. So I got to reserve something. Come on now. I got to reserve something for my clients who entrust their trading success to me, at least for this piece of it. So I definitely have to give them a little more value, right? But I'm giving you enough that you can understand the market and you can actually trade. Go in my previous videos. There's quite a bit of information there, quite a bit, where you can profit, okay? Supply zone. All right, so what happens in the supply zone? It's going down. It's going down. And of course, we bobbing and weaving, right? Because price never goes straight down, never goes straight up. So you're going to have your pullbacks, right? Let me move myself out of the way here. Okay, so but we're going down. We're going down. And again, I show you when to get in. I show you how to get your profit, how to get your profit on a daily basis, how to do that safely with little risk and maximum profit. So again, you want to definitely get with me on that. Okay, so it's going down. And now as price is decreasing, what's happening when price is decreasing, right? So the merchandise is being bought, right? The merchandise is being bought. The price is low. The lower that merchandise, guess what? The more buyers coming in. The more buyers coming in. The more buyers coming in. So then you get to a point where, guess what? You reach a low, right? Now I'm just showing this to you with the triples, right? You reach a low. Now this was a long run, this would have been a great run for arrow to arrow. Great run for arrow to arrow. I did a video on the arrow to arrow trading with the triple arrow system. Check that out. It's a phenomenal. Now, one of my trades, one of my accounts, I have multiple accounts for different things, but my retirement account is strictly arrow to arrow, and it's on the daily time frame. So that's not a trade that I'm monitoring, if you will, closely. I'm just arrow to arrow on that. And of course, when you do that, make sure that your lot size is small so that you can handle the swings, because there will be swings and it will be for you don't know how long, right? You're trading arrow to arrow, but it's very lucrative, right? It's very lucrative, and it's slow growing. It's a retirement fund, right? It's retirement, so you're not really trying to, you know what I mean. So you give yourself a certain time, and you can just do that. You can do that on one pair, and I recommend that. It's just one pair that I trade arrow to arrow on my retirement fund, and when the big arrow, if I'm in a bullish, then I trade it till it turns to the bearish. When I get the bearish big arrow, I get out, right? I get out, I wait for my confirmations, and once my confirmation is met, and I do this with alerts, so I'm not monitoring the charts, and I'm not glued to the charts. I'll show you all of these things, but then when my confirmations are met, I get back in for the opposite, right? So if I was bearish, I'm gonna get back in for the bullish, and I just ride it up and I ride it down, big arrow to big arrow. I'm not thinking about that one. I pop my head in every 3 days, maybe. I'll just pop it in. Oh, we're still running. Okay, fine. I don't care what it's doing. I don't care if I'm in profit or not in profit, because when the big arrow and the opposite big arrow populate, I'll be in profit. It's a beautiful thing. If for those that do not have the triple arrow system, you need to have it. I'm unapologetic about it, as I always say. You need to have it if you want to maximize your profit, and you want to do it consistently. Then you definitely want to incorporate the Trading Made Easy trading plan so that you can do it consistently. And so yeah, demand, and then we're going to wrap this up. So when the price reaches a low point now, right? So price is coming down, it's traveling down, it's traveling down, it's traveling down, and it reaches a point where now I'm at a low point, not breaking this area right here. We solid right here. So this now becomes a demand zone, and it is again characterized by an engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle, or a bullish big candle. Not a little one, but a big, like a healthy candle, right? That's how you know that you're at the beginning of your demand and or your supply zone. Now, for a demand zone, the demand zone happens as a result of a bearish move. Price would have been going down to create a demand zone. Price would have to be going up to create a supply zone. So keep those elements in mind. So that helps you to know that that's where you are in price. So we've reached the demand zone here, and voila, what do we have? A big arrow. I love it. A big arrow. And what else do we have? We have a big bullish candle, right? A nice sized candle. And it does look like this arrow is kind of blocking it, but let's see. Let's see what's behind that. Every time I do that, I lose my place. Okay, here we go. Okay. So what it looks like is I see a slight little red peak of something, right? I see there. What it looks like is that is a bullish candle. Yep, it is. It's like clockwork. It's a bearish candle under this arrow. I definitely see that. I definitely see that. I want to pull it up so you can see. You see the size of it? Now, this is a bullish engulfing candle. A bullish engulfing candle. And you will, 9 times out of 10, that is what you're going to see when you've reached those levels. When you've reached a supply zone or demand zone, it's going to be characterized. One of the elements is that it's going to be characterized by a bullish or bearish engulfing candle. Like clockwork. It's a beautiful thing, right? Okay, so now we know we have the big arrow that tells us that we're at a demand zone, and we have a bullish engulfing candle that tells us that we're at a demand zone. So now what's happening? Buyers are starting to come in, right? Buyers are starting to come in to do what? Why buyers are flooding in the market now? Well, because the price is low. The price has reached a threshold. It reached a low point where it has not penetrated, right? So buyers are coming in now saying, hey, this is the opportune time to do what? Start buying. Start buying. Okay, so if you're trading, in this case, it's the Euro JPY. So the Euro, what this means it's in Forex terms in these currency pairs, is that the Euro, the value of the Euro is increased, is higher than the value of the JPY, the Japanese yen. So we're going to buy that, right? We're buying it. We're buying it because it's at a low cost. The yen is at a lower cost or lower value. The value of the yen is lower, decreased or lower than the value of the euro. And because we reached a demand zone, buyers are coming in to do what? To buy the yen. Why we want to buy the yen? Because it's cheap, right? The value is the value of that, the yen dollar or the yen is less, is lower. So this is an opportune time to buy it. It's the same thing if you go into a store where there's a major discount going on, right? If there's a 70% discount on all appliances, you go into a major appliance store, there's a 70% discount. That's how you incite, that's how you encourage, that's how you incentivize buyers, consumers to come into the establishment and purchase those appliances. That's how you as far as Forex terms, is the yen has dropped. The value of the yen has dropped. So now buyers, the euro, right, buying that up. We have the unique opportunity to trade foreign Forex or foreign currency because we can buy and sell simultaneously. We can buy and sell two countries' currency simultaneously. And that's a very, very unique position to be in and a great, great opportunity to be in. And when you add the triple arrows to provide those extra eyes for you, to let you know, like, I don't have to try to figure all of this stuff out. The arrows is telling me exactly what's going on. Now that you got the backstory of supply and demand, that just makes the arrows that much more valuable, don't you think? Right? It gives you a deeper appreciation for the arrows when you understand what actually is taking place and why the arrows populate where they do. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope that I gave you some value. I hope that I gave you some insight, some deeper understanding of what's going on behind the scenes and how you can use the triple arrow system to profit and maximize from that. I'm going to be putting more videos out as it relates to market structure, what's actually going on behind the scenes, and how utilizing the triple arrow system help us to just be on the right side of price, right? So click those links inside of the description, and I hope to see you on the next video. Have a good night. Bye-bye.